We have had a pretty interesting summer when it comes to our weather and our yards. You know, we had the June storms that tore up a lot of trees, and now here we are in August with a lot of rain. So we've invited OSU Extension horticulturist Brian Jervis to come on this morning to talk a little bit about what's going on with our yards. Welcome, it's great to see you.
Glad to be here.
Tell us a little bit about the calls that have been coming into you since, I guess, springtime.
It's been a pretty rough year for plants, believe it or not. I mean, we had hot summers. The last 2 summers, you know, we had 20+ days over 100, and then we got pretty cold in the winter. So, you know, think about a plant, how it is out in them elements, what it's got to do to keep looking good and flower. So it's pretty rough. It's
stressful.
been pretty stressful for
All right, we want to talk about the trees, because I know in June we had a lot of damaged trees, even some this morning that have been knocked down overnight. We'll take a look at some of that video. Just talk to us a little bit about how do you know if a tree is salvageable, what people need to be taking into consideration.
So urban trees are, you know, they're already in a stressful situation. They're not used to being out, you know, around concrete, and then you throw the winds in, and you throw the heat, and you throw everything that we've had thrown at them. We've got a lot of problems with our trees. So, you know, you get to know a good arborist in all this, because, you know, the main thing for this is make sure you don't have any hazards, essentially. You know, if things are going to fall on a tree or on an outbuilding or on a fence or even a house, we probably need to get somebody out there pretty quick to keep that from happening.
I think that's one of those things is you kind of think of it after the fact, once it's already, what can you look about? What should you be looking at on the tree? If you, in like my house, we have a lot of trees in our yard, but I can tell when what are you looking for when a tree is stressed?
So overall health, you know, do the leaves and the canopy look good? I mean, are they green? Are they, you know, does the tree just kind of look good? Or on the opposite side of that, are the leaves really not opening up in the spring? They start falling off premature. Early. You get some limbs that kind of fall off here and there that probably shouldn't. And then just the ground around it. If things are kind of dry and cracked, the tree's probably in a little bit of trouble. Okay,
let's talk about webworms and bagworms, because I think I saw one the other day and it scared me to death. So we'll take a look at some of these pictures because they're definitely different.
Yes, so you've got bagworms. You're looking at a bagworm right now. So the worm is inside that bag. So you can't really, their natural predators can't get to them, birds can't get to them, insecticide can't get to them. So luckily that we have one of these generations a year, and they're going to be outside that bag feeding, mating, doing all that stuff around May and June. So just mark it on your calendar. You know that May and June's probably going to be the time. You know, on that tree right there, they took a lot of foliage off.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's one of those, they're not going to kill the tree. They make it look kind of bad, and then the bags hanging are everywhere. They'll even get on brick. Just you know, they're kind of confused. They just need a place to stay for the winter time. They stay in those bags all winter.
So look in months of June, May and June?
May and June, when they're outside that bag crawling, when you start seeing those bags kind of crawling, that's probably the time we need to start spraying.
Okay.
Yep.
I've also noticed foliage. We're going to look at some of this burn on some of your evergreens.
Correct. So a lot of calls on that, you know, not only from winter burn or winter cold, but also the summer heat that we've had.
We'll take a look at a couple of those pictures. Because I look at it and I say, oh my goodness, my whole tree's going to die.
That's correct. So, you know, seeing on the screen here, you've got one side, that's probably on the west side, that hot side. And maybe they don't have roots down, or maybe you just planted that tree where it hadn't had roots for time for the roots to expand.
Right.
So usually it doesn't hurt, it just looks bad for the tree. Some newly planted trees that we have could hurt them, so we may need to protect them a little bit. One thing we can do is you can put a shade over it for now, just temporary in the 100-degree days. A little bit of things like that. Make sure you have it watered and mulched in the best you can, and that should help protect it. And then, you know, it may just be the case of a wrong plant in the wrong place. So it may be, you know, may need to move it or try to put something else in there that'll survive.
You brought a couple of little plants with you today. Tell me about those.
So yeah, I just went to the nursery. I always need an excuse to go out to the nurseries and see around, look around, and this is a shrimp plant, and then these are both annuals, and coleus down below. But you know, we're not quite time to start planting for the fall yet, but we're really close. So if we keep getting these constant temperatures, it's getting time. So a lot of fun stuff out of the nurseries. The breeder's done a good job. We've got some great nurseries around that have a lot of awesome, cool plants that'll suit your palate, whatever it is.
Good. I want also to let folks know you have a Master Gardener class coming up this week.
We do. We do. So we've got an orientation coming up on Wednesday, and then we'll sign up those guys for interviews and get them in, and we're interviewing this week, so we're pretty excited.
All right. If you'd like more information, go to our website. We'll put all the information there. You can go to newson6.com. Brian, Brian, we appreciate it. We look forward to having you come back. And as we hit fall time, people are like, when and what can I plant?
For sure.
Right.
Thank you.